Good evening. I call to order the City of Gerald regular called City Council meeting Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 at 7 p.m. First item on the agenda is going to be a roll call. All members present. And we have an invocation and pledge of allegiance led by Councilwoman Clausen.
Since our prayer partners could not join us this evening, so I want to be a little different in my request to you as we stand. I want all of us to come together in unity and say the Lord's Prayer together. I'll start us off and let's all pray together. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
thank you. And now for pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 2, public comments. We have a couple here. We'll start with our orange cards. Chris Knowlton.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
I want to commend Pat and City Council on finally putting Gerald on the map. We now have 4 traffic-controlled intersections. Okay. I have another concern, something that troubles me deeply. Okay. I know City Council has a real tough job. Okay, you have 12 meetings a year. Okay, should be attended. And it bothers me greatly that with 12 meetings a year, people can't show and get city business done. Okay. Possibly we have the wrong people in office. Possibly people have taken this position for the wrong reasons. Okay, maybe for self-enrichment or self-advancement rather than to serve the city of Gerald. And that troubles me greatly. Okay, so if that's you, take a look at it. Maybe you want to step down. Maybe let somebody else take that position. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have our yellow signing cards. Anybody who submitted one, do you want to speak now or when the agenda item comes up?
Now.
Can I do mine now?
You certainly can.
Roger Thompson.
Yep. Yep. Got you right here.
How you doing, Chief? Fine. Alderman, appreciate it. Mayor Sherrick and Mayor Pro Tem Tanya Clausen and Alderman. I just wanted to address on 6.3 and 6.5 that the United States of America need to find a way to get along together. I'm opposed to hiring a new city manager every time we sneeze. So, just want to keep that in mind as you're going through your responsibilities as protectors of the citizens of the city of Gerald. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay. I assume everybody else would like to wait until the agenda item is called. Moving on to agenda item 3.1, proclamation declaring May 6th through May 10th, 2024 as Economic Development Week. Mayor Pro Tem Clausen is going to read it out loud.
The City of Gerald proclamation to designate May 6th through 10th, 2024 as Economic Development Week. Whereas more than 100,000 economic development or related professionals worldwide are committed to creating, retaining, and expanding top-tier opportunities that facilitate long-term, equitable community growth, and whereas the economic development profession cultivates thriving neighborhoods, champions sustainability and resiliency, boosts economic prosperity, enhances the quality of life, and builds robust tax base. And whereas economic development professionals operate throughout diverse economic environments, including rural, suburban, and urban settings, local, state, provincial, and national governments, public-private partnerships, chambers of commerce, institutions of higher education, among many similar organizations and associations. And whereas economic development professionals serve as stewards, bridging connections between community stakeholders such as residents, business leaders, elected officials, industry executives, and educational administrators to collaborate in promoting job creation, community investment, infrastructure advancements, and optimistic future. And whereas economic developers contribute to the betterment of the progress of the City of Gerald within the state of Texas of the United States of America. Whereas since 1926, the International Economic Development Council has been a leader and driving force in advancing economic development initiatives with a steadfast commitment to fostering growth and prosperity in communities of all sizes worldwide through equity, inclusion, sustainability, resilience, and innovation. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Gerald, Texas recognizes the week of May 6th through May 10th, 2024 as Economic Development Week, and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding opportunities, bettering lives, and moving society forward. Proclaimed the 7th day of May, 2024, signed by Mayor Patrick Chair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Ready? 1, 2, and? Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Due to some new information that has come to light here, I'm going to move agenda item 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5. The next item to be discussed. This is Danielle's attorney present, so I'd like to. Or, sorry, that is 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5. I think I said that correctly. The city manager has just requested that agenda item 6.4 be discussed in open session. 6.5, I apologize.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we don't do this complete agenda, and basically we handle the two that pertain to Danielle. We should do this special, and then we can do it public. So I don't see a need right now. I'd like to just remove those items from the agenda. So that would be Daniel's special session and then her visit. And we kind of know why everybody's here. So, I mean, why you want to go through mundane stuff is all I'm trying to say. I would rather see us remove this and get right to the meat of the matter.
Jeff, may I get clarity to your motion?
Huh?
I'm unclear on the motion you're trying to create.
I'm removing agenda items right now. So the only agenda item I want to be dealing with right now is Danielle's. And so I made a motion. And do I have a second? In other words, it will only need two on the agenda.
It fails for a lack of second.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that 6.3 be held in open session.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor in a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. That fails. You guys just,
I want to clarify.
okay.
If I'm not opposed to having anything as it pertains to me in open session, do I have the right to do so?
You, yes, you individually.
Okay, thank you.
And what was that cover exactly?
Meaning, you can discuss things about her in open session if she consents to it, not other council members unless they consent to their subject matter.
Can be discussed in a
Okay. Gerald City Council is now adjourned. Agenda item 6.3, closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 to deliberate the appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duty, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer, employee to wit, city council members. Agenda item 6.4, closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071 to conduct a private consultation with its attorney. When the governmental body seeks the advice of its attorney about pending or contemplated litigation, or a settlement offer, or a matter in which duty of the attorney of the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct, the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. To wit, employment of city manager Danielle Singh. Agenda item 6.5, closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 to deliberate the employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer, employee to wit, city manager Danielle Singh. We are adjourned. Gerald City Council is now back in session at 8:56 p.m. All right. Agenda item 7.3, discussion, consideration, of possible action regarding the employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer, employee to wit, city council members. Would just like to say, I know some of the council members requested this be done in closed executive session, but it is my right, my First Amendment right to speak. And so I'm going to go through a series of communications that I've had with council members that I find concerning, and I would like answers to. If they do not want to answer, they have the right to sit there. If they want to request, if you've done a closed executive session, we can go back there. When I come back out here, I'm still going to continue reading these emails. So if they want to respond out here, they can respond. So at first I'd like to address kind of why I feel like we got to this point. And so I'd like to start with Councilmember Islas and his communications with our city manager. So we had an overflow tank installed at one of our lift stations. It's out by Memorial Park. So it's called a Double Creek Lift Station. Unanimous approval by the council. However, whenever they started installing this tank, Councilmember Islas, let's just say, he kind of lost it. So starting with some of the first communications here, communications pictures of the tank. So is that a waste disposal bin going in front of my property? If so, we have issues. Not sure what he meant by issues. Okay. All of the information of this tank was provided to us. Any questions we could have asked. Brief explanation by Ms. Singh, not really important. Next one, yeah, I'm not okay with this at all. And is it even okay for it to be that close to residential? The last two locations were away from people. I need to schedule a meeting with you, and whoever else thought this was a good idea to put a weigh station that close to my home. He was one of those people that decided that.
Mayor, for clarity too, that my research too, prior to going on that vote, it was in our packet on June 26, 2023, where we issued the RFP telling us where all of this infrastructure was located. So it wasn't hidden, it was very much so in the RFP, and it gave us the GPS, the coordinates, the Latin long of where all of the infrastructure is within the city limits. That was previously provided.
So he didn't know where it was.
If we would have looked at the RFP, we could have seen where those, where that information was provided. You would have had to look at the packet, and you would have had to look at the RFP in order to see where that information.
From Ms. Singh, I have emailed Art to find out his availability as any course of action will have legal ramifications, meaning if we were to remove that tank, our attorney would have to, we have to get advice because we do breaking the contract. I will let you know when I hear back from you. Next one from Islas, what does moving a temporary weigh station farther away from my home or back to the other location for them to dump have to deal with legal ramifications? If it isn't moved, there's a huge chance of legal ramifications. State somebody's going to be suing the city. Ms. Singh let him know again that this is the only place those tanks can be put. And the only other option would be to breach the original contract. So we've kind of gone through that. And so if you want to explain any of that, just,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yes, Patrick,
So
I
you
would.
can-
Yes, so.
So you do want to have this in open session?
Well, I mean, you can have a conversation
Okay,
in front
cool.
of everybody, yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, so my concern was yes, you kind of skimmed over it. My daughter has asthma, but it is the only place I can go. There was no barriers around that location. There's plenty of children that go through that area. Those were all my concerns, and it was very close, not only my property, but to the adjacent property, where as of recently, people downplayed that your external waste station was doing liquid out, and it flooded the next door. So, I mean, so there was legitimate cautions about it, and everything was just going out of place. But once again, I was upset, and I called you, and I called Tanya, and it was on a Thursday, and I requested for you to get more clarification, and you told me I was too busy, and you didn't respond. Oh, I forgot, my bad. You're the mayor, you should have resolved this issue too, so that was your failure. On that, Danielle did respond and give me a phone call, and she left a message, but I was busy also. And I was in a matter where I was upset, okay? And that's why I went to you two, and y'all failed me, so. I mean,
Did I fail you, or did I?
You didn't respond back to me. I heard from her later, no, I heard from her later that you said, I didn't see a problem with it. You didn't tell me that. You didn't call me back. You called me after everything blew up.
Right, because I'm being told you did involve more counsel, and I was cautioned of a walking
You were
around,
pro,
so I stepped
you
back
were
and
the
I
pro
told
tem,
you
that's why I
that
only
was not-
contacted you two.
I told you I would not
Should-
proceed the conversation, so that I would not
It
create a
was
walking
between
forum.
you two. I
Very
didn't tell
clear.
anybody else.
That's
So,
not the instruction I was given.
well, it helps when you call me and ask me to my face instead of just assuming things, so there you go.
Well, I had another council member call me, they said you talked to him, so there you go.
Well,
Mr.
you-
Jeff,
but
you called me.
But you didn't call me and talk to me and ask me.
So I didn't want to continue the quorum.
So
Thank you for
there's
clarifying.
the disconnect right there.
Thank you for
You
clarifying.
were
I didn't
pro
want to continue
tem,
the
so
quorum.
I asked you to resolve the issue and you failed.
You clarified, I just wanted to
Congratulations.
continue a walking quorum, and I'll take
Congratulations, you
that.
failed.
Because I refused to do so.
How did he forget he voted for it?
Also too, in the 316, if I understand infrastructure correctly, I'm not in that. Have we not put that in with the rainfall we saw, would that situation have been worse than it presented itself?
We have our city engineer. Would you want to make a few comments about it?
For everybody who doesn't know me, I'm Jorge Hernandez, I'm the new city engineer. The lift station did everything that it was designed for. The cause was a major rain event. We have, I think, my research led me that we have 1.5 inches of rain over that day. And just to give you perspective, on an acre, that equals to 40,000 gallons of water. There was a malfunction. It got fixed. It was fixed. City staff was on site. We did not receive any foul smear, any cloudy water, and we reported to TCQ within the parameters of 24 hours. The report came back saying that there's no danger to the adjacent residents, and no further action needs to be taken. However, we're going to keep monitoring the situation and keep an eye on it.
Thank you.
Was that our only lift station that overflowed?
No, we have 2 lift stations, and again, they both did what they were supposed to. And to be honest, one of them is something that nobody could have foreseen, was a main breaker failure. Just to you can go and check a breaker, and we all that on the house. We check a breaker, it's working, and all of a sudden it stopped working. That would happen, and I think it's I don't think I know. Sorry, home plates. It was a main breaker malfunction.
And Daniel, it's my understanding that you called a former operator to come look at the situation, and you as well called the fire department.
I called 911. Because they're. Oh, that's good. Didn't know that was-
What a waste of our resources.
Well, now, seriously, when the response was made, and they came out, because this took heavy action on social media and had a lot of citizens genuinely concerned about the war. I can see, when I researched that item, there was clarity that this was nothing more than rainwater that was tested. And I do see that you even said that. Why didn't that become the headline to diffuse it rather than be buried in the comments?
If you notice, I turned off comments, but that was the end of it.
Why didn't it become the headline?
But I put it on there.
The headline was there that we had a sewer spill.
Is that our job to update Facebook and do all that, or is that?
You did the challenge. You had it.
I think yes, absolutely, everybody saw that it was coming out. So I did, just like everything else, puts everybody else's information out on Facebook, so.
Put the false information out, why don't you put the real information out?
Updated as soon as the fire department
Calm
did it.
down.
As soon the fire department told me.
We got a lot to talk about here.
All the comments.
Point of order, please.
Okay, and so from these interactions, you called an emergency meeting, right? Okay, and then I had requests from Councilmember Marsh, Councilmember Seidel. I want to try and avoid that, that special call meeting. Some things were brought up at our, meeting on March 5th, I believe. In an executive session, about council members as well. And so I felt like bringing, an executive session item to discuss our city manager would look like retaliation. I expressed that multiple times to my council members. So let us just continue on, so you can kind of see how they responded to some of my emails. Before we get into that, would you like to tell me about any other interactions that you've had with our city manager that she's found troublesome? Councilmember Islas?
You bring them up to me, you're the one running the show.
Okay. So I was made aware on 2 different occasions, you informed city staff of friends that would be applying to jobs here at the city. And you went as far to hand drop one of the applications off yourself. To me, that seems troublesome. Seems like you may be trying to influence staff to make certain decisions. Any comment? Okay. For our Christmas event, did you suggest that we hire a DJ as well?
I said that I had a DJ that was good, yes.
No. Did you ever ask your city manager what, at the time she had a DJ lined up, did you ever ask what that DJ was charging the city?
I asked how much it would cost us, yes.
All right, we've got to skip around here a little bit, but are you right now concerned for your safety?
For the right this second, no, last meeting, yes. And I would like to note that I asked for a Williamson County Sheriff and you didn't, so apparently my safety is not important.
We have a police department
That's
that
great,
is
yeah, that's great. That
professionally
publicly is
run.
Professionally vaccinated, no thing, no matter what, right? They said it under the sun. Great, but when I say I'm not, I don't feel safe, but it's okay. Fine.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to, Councilmember Marsh. So when Danielle initially emailed the council about the communications between her, and Councilmember Islas, did you read those communications?
I did.
Okay, and did you find anything that, Councilmember Islas, wrote concerning at all, or?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, why was a special call meeting, why did you request a special call meeting to discuss Ms. Singh? Did you think she acted out of line there, or?
So, given my train of thought, I haven't been on here long, right? And like I told you back in the back, Danielle presented a complaint against Jeff. So I recommended, I thought it was the right thing to do, I recommended an executive session against Jeff. I didn't know at the time, but, Dana Kleepak had also recommended an executive session against Jeff. Several weeks later, after that meeting, several weeks later, we had gotten, she had forwarded a complaint from Daniel as well, that he had issues with the way she was performing or doing her job. Not thinking any different from what I did with Jeff, requesting executive session, I thought, okay, then I guess we need to have an executive session to try to squash that. That was my intent, and the whole reason I even requested an executive session in the beginning of all of this was, I did it for Jeff, no one said a word, so I thought, okay, I guess that's what we do. So when a complaint on someone else came forward, I thought, okay, let me recommend an executive session. So that's what I did.
Okay.
That was my
Yeah.
intent. The first, my whole reason behind the executive session. And then from there, it's come to this, that, I'm 100% after her job, but, yeah, most people don't know everything that's going on. But my initial intent was to try to sit down like we did with Jeff and try to squash what was going on. But
Gotcha. Okay. The council did receive an email from Ms. Singh detailing to them those communications with Islas and her, where she found them concerning, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So at the very least, there should have been 2 executive session items requesting to be put on an agenda. Okay. And we had several email communications back and forth, right? And I kind of explained my thinking. We even had a phone call. And when I suggested it, we put an executive session item on the agenda to discuss that frac tank and that lift station in a different way. We put on the agenda item as Cielo Gardens so we could discuss that tank.
Yes.
During a phone call. And that was after I had a conversation with Islas, and he agreed to do that as well. So both of you are in agreement to not have the executive session be about our city manager. And then there was an incident with Councilmember Seidel, and we'll get into that later. Him coming into my store. It was an hour or 2 later, both of y'all then requested that executive session be put back on the agenda. Is there a reason for that? The sudden change of,
Why don't we see Cielo Gardens back to the city manager?
I was advised that was the incorrect course of action, and it needed to go the opposite direction with having her on the executive session.
okay,
Who advised you that it was wrong? Because it pertained to the frac tank, which was then offset at Cielo Gardens, so who advised you that it was incorrect?
I don't know.
let's see here.
How do you not know who told you?
You made a statement in another email, that from outside appearances, from multiple people, look like you and Danielle are colluding with each other to silence voices of certain council members. Well, just because I didn't want to put her name on there.
Yeah, so outside of this room, there's many other voting citizens.
No, yeah, no, I understand that. But when I explained that if I put an item on the agenda as council members, and we could discuss everything exactly the same way, and specifically said that putting her name on the agenda would be retaliation.
No, actually.
Did that not?
Actually, it's not what you said. You never even mentioned the word retaliation. You talking about the phone call?
I had multiple emails,
The initial phone call, when you said, hey, can we please meet so that I can discuss with
and
you?
follow-up emails after you then requested it be put back on the agenda.
Yeah, read it, I guess
You said you were advised that it was done incorrectly, listing it as Cielo Gardens, and it switched back to being the city manager, is what he's referencing.
Your question is what?
He's referencing that you considered it to be retaliation when you went from city manager to Cielo Gardens back to city manager. Were there other concerns to the public or public concerns that was just to the public or any other?
I'm just wondering why you changed your mind about putting her name back on the agenda.
We've already answered.
Okay, did you not think retaliation?
No, retaliation never came into my head.
Okay. Okay. This email from you dated March 27th. You said you emailed me, you're looking into me forwarding my emails that are between council members to our city manager, Danielle. You stated an open records request is usually required by law to release elected officials' emails. Communications between elected officials is supposed to be confidential unless an open record request is submitted for those emails. Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to forward my emails to our city manager?
Well, as we just discussed in there, yeah, you can.
Oh.
What is the question you need to answer?
I know, I just wanted it known that you made this whole statement, how you're looking into this.
I'm looking at what?
Whether I'm allowed to forward my emails, which I have the right to give my emails to anybody.
Right, which we discussed.
Okay, so.
Before you come in.
In that same email, you stated our city attorney, Art, you do not reach out to him because he has demonstrated that he is not unbiased. He clearly favors you and Danielle. You also state that I trust Art about as much as I trust a wet fart.
Everyone's pleasure on the drive. That's what she She had something to back it up with. If you don't trust her. That's all he has to do is provide something.
That's it? Okay. Also in an email, you state that you have it from good authority that some of our county commissioners do not, or will refuse to work with our city manager. Would you like to?
Discuss that.
You can't tell me which commissioners that they would not work with her? Why?
I'm not putting that out.
I'm happy to release, I called every county commissioner. I called Terry Cook. Terry has no comment on Danielle Singh because she's never met her. She said she's heard some wonderful things about her, but she's never met her. I called Cynthia Long. Cynthia Long has the same comment as Terry Cook because she's never met Danielle. Neither of them told me they would refuse to work with our city manager. What they did tell me is they would like to meet our city manager. Because they can't form that opinion having never met her. And that was their statements to me. Furthermore, I called Valerie Covey, because I don't know if you're aware that our city manager, Valerie Covey, and the ISD have a monthly meeting. Are you aware of that meeting? No? That's how they work together to talk about the growth in this area and how we're gonna keep these kids safe for transportation, for many, many purposes. More than I can even put out here because I don't go to those meetings. So when I asked Valerie if she had a concern working with our city manager, she said absolutely not. Furthermore, she didn't get it in time, but this evening Valerie just sent me an email that I'm happy to read to the citizens. So excuse me from the phone, it came in after our conversation.
We can say that for,
It says, sorry, I'm just now getting back to you. I met with the Gerald City Manager and ISD monthly to discuss matters of the growing city and the school district and how the county can help. Danielle has been very helpful and informative. We have gotten along well. I'm happy to visit with council members if there's any specific concern. We have a concern that they won't work with her. Lastly, I met with our commissioner and talked to him, Russ Bowles. That's 4 commissioners. You won't tell me which one won't work with her? Commissioner Bowles actually came here last month to speak to the citizens that he strongly supports our city manager. And we didn't have that meeting because we had 3 council members that weren't here. So you weren't here in front of your commissioner. And he came to speak on her behalf. Well, tonight he can't speak on her behalf. And Mayor, I believe he emailed you or Diane, or I don't have that email, but I do believe that it was sent regarding his relationship with our city manager. So you can't tell me who of those commissioners spoke up to you when that's all 4 of them in the county and you listed them that they won't work with our city manager. Why can't you say it?
I want to.
So, are you lying? You're not lying to me. You said they won't work with our city manager. That's what you said?
At the time I sent that email, that's exactly what I was
Transparency.
Told by which one? I talked to all 4.
There's no possibility that they tell you one thing and tell me another. No possibility.
I don't see that. I don't know why they wouldn't tell me the truth. I've never had any bad relationships with any of the commissioners. I know all 4. I don't personally work with them. There's 2 I know of, and 2 I know a little more that operate in their precinct, but I can't imagine that, if there was a concern, why would they go to one council member, not all? But I talked to all of them. So unless I missed one, there are more than 4. I'm not putting on the show, I'm frustrated. Mark, I'm
trying to get answers
frustrated. I want
to
answers
statements
to
that you have made
allegations.
in emails to us.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go further than that.
How is it fair to us for you
I've
to
got it.
accuse all of these things
I got an email from you telling me that.
and not be able to respond?
I'm frustrated about the text messages and emails that you sent to me. That's where my frustration comes from. is normal, okay? Because I have not welcomed you to the dais in the same manner that you welcomed yourself to me. And I stand behind that statement. I'm here to serve these citizens. And I'm here to serve to the best of the ability.
I got a good old voice system. I care. And I care deeply. I've walked these streets. I've picked up litter on these streets. I have done more than you would ever imagine. I'm not just here because I grew up here. I chose to stay here because I raised my family here. I'm now raising my grandchildren here. And I deeply care about the well-being of this city, this staff, and this community. And I will tell you, I've got an email saying that you filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office on the release of those emails. Did you send me that? Did you submit a request and a complaint to the Attorney General's office? I emailed the Attorney General's office and did an open records request on the city of Gerald. Read their response to me.
Can't hear. Can you read it louder? Can you read it louder, please?
Stand up and read it.
This email is a response to your public information request to the Office of the Attorney General, OAG, received by the OAG on April 30th, 2024. The OAG has reviewed its files and has no information responsive to your request. If you have any questions, please contact Public Records at oag.texas.gov.
Another one.
So I emailed the OAG. I sent it. I would like to request a copy of any complaints filed with the Texas Attorney General regarding the city of Gerald, Texas, from March 29th to April 26th, which fits that time block. Please inform me of any applicable fees. I don't think the citizens seem to be concerned about that, but they asked me, what type of complaint? I need to know where to send your request. I said, thank you for the response. Complaint would be regarding how an open records request was processed by the city of Gerald. I hope this is helpful. Excellent, thank you. So if the OAG didn't find it, did they get something wrong in your request? Because I asked them for a copy of it and they said they don't have one.
Okay. Well, one, yes, the wrong division.
Did you not say you went to the Attorney General's office?
I did. And if you want the complaint, I'll tell you what, I'll send you the complaint. Okay? I'll send you the response.
Because we asked
I'll
you
send you
earlier.
everything.
Mayor asked you earlier and you said you can't
Exactly.
share that.
Because it's a criminal investigation. As far as anyone wants to laugh.
Investigation.
As far as anyone wants to laugh.
Where was the release of her? She released her own emails, they belong to her. The emails that you see that belong to you, hello folks, we shouldn't use them as attachments because it still becomes part of her email.
Documents that were also released that were not part of the open records request.
I agree, and I do believe that, in the follow-up to communication that I have seen, the requester, I can see where the city, took action there and, sent an email back to the requester, where the requester brought a point of clarity that they were indeed released as they desired, and apologized for their own mistake to the point.
Tell you what, then let's just wait until I told the mayor. I promise you, they will make contact.
But that is my frustration. I mean, and I shouldn't let emotions get into my service, and for that I apologize to the council and to the citizens, that I genuinely care. And it's been a goal of mine to serve these citizens for many years, and now that my life brings opportunity to serve, I'm happy to serve as long as they want me to serve. If they don't want me to serve, they'll tell me. And I'll respect them. But I don't know what other division with the OAG I could have contacted.
Criminal prosecution division.
But how did you get a copy of the open records? I mean, you said it was regarding an open records request.
Where was she sent it to them? She sent me all of that.
Sorry, Mayor.
An email from May 2nd, stated that TML attorney that was assigned to our case to handle the EEOC complaint is irrelevant. You said that she should just file a lawsuit, that there was zero evidence to support her claim. You also state, I'm being told right now that Danielle is meeting with her puppet and guard dog, the chief of police and assistant chief daily to get dirt and monitor certain council members. Do you stand by that statement? Okay. Do you have any evidence or proof that he's collecting dirt and monitoring council members?
Just what I'm being told.
Hearsay. Back shut.
I know. All right, and I think, lastly, yesterday you sent an email letting us know that you were going to attend this meeting in uniform and as full capacity as a Texas peace officer. I noticed you walked in with your uniform on. Can you just let us know kind of what transpired there?
I was told, like, why did I wear my stuff?
Yeah, why did you wear it? Why did you
So I
take
received
it off?
some phone calls and text messages telling me that myself and others should park in the back, that it was not gonna be safe for us to walk to the front. So, we're gonna take a chance.
Gotcha. Are you able to serve as, in a full capacity as a Texas peace officer while here at council meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Seidel, there's a lot of things here, but first, do you understand what the role is of a city council member and what acting outside of your official capacity means?
What email is that?
I'm just speaking broadly right now.
I'm not broadly answering.
Okay. So this goes back a ways. Did you ever try to negotiate with Heritage Broadband at any point?
No.
This one here from March 6th, 2023. Grace, I will be contacting Tom this week, and there are a couple of tweaks remaining to be made to the contract. What were you referring to in that one?
Hold them up, so we need to stop.
Okay, you understand that that's the role of the city manager is to negotiate contracts, speak with vendors.
Well, you weren't here, previous, Mayor Pro Tem had requested that I look into that, so you understand.
Oh, I didn't know she had the authority to authorize that.
Well, I don't know really what you're doing.
I'm just trying to read emails to inform the public about certain statements and actions made by their elected officials.
Darryl, but that's okay.
One of the current providers, during this process reached out to me and, was concerned that they weren't considered, thought that it was already spoken for from the meetings that you had had. And, there was an email.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was an email where you spoke degrading the current company we have. What do you-
Can you show me the email?
Yes.
You know, I don't know what we're doing here, except, you know, kind of throwing dirt.
How do you feel about it?
There's a reason why all these people are in attendance.
No,
How do you
I
feel about our
understand
current-
that, which is why I tried to make the meeting maybe a little bit more productive.
For yourself.
Find the email. Jeff, it was talking about how, our current services,
Heritage Broadband.
current services with Heritage Broadband are poor was the statement you put in the email. You recall?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I will find the email, and I'm happy to forward it to you. But I will tell you that prompted a phone call from Heritage Broadband to me, for a meeting. I did, because we're not supposed to negotiate, I didn't know how to handle it. I disclosed to the city manager that I had a current vendor requesting to meet with me, and was given the approval to hear the concerns, but understand that no decisions can be made, or nothing can be done, but I can hear the complaint, because it wasn't on the city side, it was on the council side. And as that came to light, it concerned me even more that, and something that I found out about Heritage Broadband that I didn't know until I had the meeting, is they're women owned. And they felt insulted that they were degraded for their services. And felt insulted they weren't contacted to give a likewise compromise to the offerings, because they could expand outside of their current capacity if given opportunity. And that resulted in me, that meeting came from the email that you sent us.
That's your assumption.
No, sir, not my assumption.
You're assuming that. Show me the email, and we'll discuss it, Tanya. And I don't see the productivity in this.
Well, because we've tried to address these behaviors, in the past.
You say
and they
behaviors, no
continue.
negotiations happen, but if you want to frame it up that way, there's no negotiation with Heritage Broadband. Period. Period.
It's not your role to even be talking to them about contracts.
Man, who you can talk to becomes quite a thing, doesn't it, Danny? I mean, the purpose of this, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing.
All right, here's another one, April 21st,
Am I suing
2023.
the city? Am I suing the city over something right now?
No.
That you should be going, I mean, I have no idea what your purpose here is.
I'm just informing the public.
I don't think that's what you're doing, Patrick. Be honest with what you're doing.
That's exactly
We
what I'm
want
doing.
to know.
We want to hear the emails.
I'm sure
That's right.
everybody
We want
wants to know. Do open
clarification.
records
And
requests,
it's for
figure it out, show up to some
Takes
meetings
over a
every
month.
once
Be
in a while.
transparent.
Show up to meetings, you show up to
Okay.
meetings.
There's not a matter of not being
Resign.
transparent. This is not
You were here,
transparent.
where were you?
I don't see you bring
Ma'am,
up
point of order,
Danielle's
please.
email.
Point of order,
Point
please.
of
I don't see you bringing up,
Point of order.
details as well. So I don't see the productivity.
Okay. You made your
Okay,
statement.
good.
Okay, here's another one, April 21st, 2023, an email to Nathan from Fiber First, expressing on the city's behalf, the city's interest in bringing fiber optics to the city of Gerald, yada, 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 wasn't approved by the council. So that was, again, acting outside of your official capacity.
Why is that not a big deal to you? Do you get something from Fiber First?
Where are you?
So, there's other emails here, but I don't want to have to go through all of them. Has the city manager ever expressed to you her concerns about you acting outside of your official capacity, and other inappropriate behaviors and
Yeah, we both talked about inappropriate behaviors on both sides.
On both sides.
the council have, any allegations against our city manager. I've been advised by our attorney to
Yeah, I would
Not say a whole lot.
I would have a few, so I would say a whole lot.
Okay, the next one I have on my list, have you ever made any statements comparing the technology of Gerald to a virgin?
Not unless it was a Madonna song.
I have your recording.
Boy.
Give me 1 second.
I'd like you to explain a little bit about that maybe before you start anything else, just how that would streamline anything. I mean, imagine you've got a government now, and now this is your fun part. Your government is brand new, is technologically convergent. So you can do anything you want, was incorporated in 2020, you know.
Now, by making that statement, that is an IT statement, that's a statement of. Oh, please, crowd, yeah, please, crowd, please. With a broad brush, Gerald has no technology. I mean, it really hasn't been developed. And so, in speaking technical terms, it's a blank canvas. Virgin has a couple different meanings, maybe you wanna look them up. Okay? Pure, okay, not untouched, all right? And I can go on, and if you wanna laugh because you don't know your words, that's okay. But technologically, it's a virgin, okay? And you
I'm
can-
working on it, we never use that term. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not gonna address the people here with the clapping and everything else.
The only ones that vote.
But it does have two meanings, go look them up.
Okay.
Look 'em up.
We are the voters.
Well, it's gonna resign.
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 Now we got to get the crowd.
Okay. So. There are more things, but I think we covered the main issues that I've seen and encountered. People want more information, you have every right to request all of these emails and communications. Any members on the council like to say anything else?
I'd like to speak. I'm a senior member, I've been on this council for a long time. I remember meeting in a rundown trade. I'm sorry, I'm the senior member of this council, I've been on this council for a very long time. I was doing this when we were doing it at the community center, when we were doing it in some rundown house, when we couldn't figure out how we were gonna make bills. So I'm really proud of what the city's grown into, and I've really enjoyed serving the citizens. For those that don't know, we don't get paid. Okay, we're volunteering our time, and I really enjoy it. That being said, this has become an embarrassment. I'm sorry, being that you're going through this. I'm sorry that we as a council have created a circus atmosphere. I apologize to the citizens also. I certainly hope that we can move forward for the sake of the citizens and our community. And I wish I had, some advice after all these years, but this is something I've never seen before. I apologize for that. I pray that we're able to work through this. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your leadership too. There's been the time or two where I've had to make phone calls for clarity. And I feel like, this is my second term, so I'm still very young and stuff. and every day that I serve, I'm learning more. So I appreciate the guidance that you've offered to me, and have the utmost respect for your service to the citizens and to the city, and want to submit your statement too. I didn't know service was going to look like this. To say it's a challenge is an understatement. To say it's embarrassing, it is embarrassing. I'll apologize for my frustrations. I think they mirror my passion, if that means anything.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the best statement I can make. It doesn't excuse them, but that's the best statement I can make, is that my frustration mirrors my passion. Where I go on this side, I go back to this side. So, Danielle, I apologize to you in the service that we've seen on behalf of all of city council. And as I've spoken before, it certainly wasn't the welcome I envisioned bringing you in as city manager. I saw it from a different light. And I just think that as a whole, we can think it through, and there's no personal feelings. We're all entitled to our own opinions. This is not a show. This isn't a stance. When I have citizens that call us off and on throughout the day or email us, what you're working with, I mean, we're getting the same phone calls. And we have to be responsive in service. We're getting the same concerns, and we've got an audience here that wants answers. So the objective is to let the citizens see what we see, and go through it. And I'll bring a point of clarity. You told me that in my open records request to the Attorney General that I sent it to the wrong department. I would like to know more, because I believe we asked where it was filed and it was not disclosed. So if it's filed differently, I'm happy to submit another open records request for clarity. I just need the information that was requested that we weren't able to receive. But outside of that, then, citizens, I appreciate your time and energy to the evening, and because we're still going. It's not over. So, appreciate your patience with us. And Mayor, thank you for bringing points of clarity.
You're welcome. It was not my intention to try and shame anyone. No, I think it is important for the public to witness firsthand the challenges that our city manager often faces. And I'm all about transparency. The people who elected me as mayor deserve that from me. I believe they trusted me to do the right thing. And so by not highlighting these things and letting the public know, I would have been failing them as mayor. So I hope we can move forward from this and at least be able to conduct city business to keep this city moving forward. That's what all of y'all deserve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members want to speak? Okay. With that, we'll be moving on to agenda item 7.4, discussing consideration of possible action regarding employment of city manager Danielle Singh. This one we do not have any action on.
Mayor, point of clarification, that one was supposed to be done in open session. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the next one.
Okay, 7.5, discussion and possible action regarding the appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duty, discipline, or dismissal of public officer or employee to wit, city manager Danielle Singh. I think don't have any comments, so that one's also no action. Yes, we do have some comments. I apologize. So, first one here is going to be Rusty Bryson. Would you like to speak?
Just for the record, I put the microphone on so people could hear, so let's not forget to turn it off. council members. Most of you know me, citizens, most of you know me. My name is Rusty Bryson, I live at 218 Meadow Valley Loop. Been a resident of Gerald over 26 years. I, along with Tanya, love this place. We watched it grow. We want to continue to grow. Those of you council members who took your oath seriously, I applaud you for that. It's not always easy to do what's right. I'm asking that you put your personal feelings aside and do what's right for the voters, for the citizens, for the people that you were elected to take care of. Please do that. Let Danielle do her job. She's excellent. You haven't given her a chance. She's been here since June, and this is the second meeting that we have had over this topic. It's time to put it to rest. Let her do her job. You do your job. Some of you are doing a great job of it. Patrick, you're a rock star tonight. Okay? I'm just saying to the citizens, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're in this position. I'm sorry that we can't get resolution because people want to hide behind closed doors. For that, I am sorry. Do know that a majority of our council and our mayor and our city manager have your interest at heart. So do know that I know that. I know most all of them very well. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. All right, next speaker, Nicole Mills.
Okay, it's not my first rodeo being here. We have 3 very bad councilmen. I'll go in with Isla, Marge, and Slidell over there. I really appreciate Patrick, Tanya, Danielle, and Daniel K. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you putting us citizens first. As for you, Isla, you don't even read what's on your agenda. You look at clown 2, clown 3, and you say, yes, I go with them. You voted for something that you've been on Facebook fussing about. You voted for it. Not very smart. You had the paperwork, I heard, not once but twice. You overlooked it and you just did a vote until it became in your front yard. March, you sit here, you're new, you ask for all this other advice, yet you won't share where you're getting it from. You have no idea what you're doing, you're a puppet for the people that got you in here, and you're going with this clown. You had the ticket to overthrow the boat of evil. You had that ticket, but tonight, I'm solid. I pretty much felt it, but solid, that you're on the boat of evil. But you could have been the honorable one to get off that boat, but you're gonna sink with those 3. It's horrible. You all 3 need to resign. The citizens of Gerald don't need this. We don't want you. We want better than this. We deserve better than this. And I do have the petition to vote all of you out. It may not work, but at least it's gonna send you a message that your butts won't be voted back in the next time. That's right. Thank you to the good ones again, and Danielle, Team Danielle.
We have Tammy Pawson.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, Mayor and the like. First off, thank y'all. This is a very hard job, and you're all in a very hot seat at the moment, and I applaud you for handling it with a lot of grace. That's what I see tonight, a lot of grace. Danielle, I think you've done a tremendous job since you got here. You've put stuff out for us to see. You've done a great job handling Gerald's budget. You did it phenomenal with our Christmas parade, and the Christmas festivities downtown. And I see a major positive impact with you here in our city, and I'd like to continue on that positive impact with our city. Tonight, I see 3 negative impacts on our city, unfortunately. And I do ask for the resignation immediately of Alderman Jeff Seidel, Alderman Adam Marsh, and Alderman Daniel Islas. You guys are way out of your element here. We have to come together and bring more positivity to this city, and all you have done is brought it down and cost every one of us in this room money, time and money, from the taxpayers. Thanks a lot. I don't appreciate it. I will not be voting for any of y'all ever again for anything, not just this council, because I can see your character now, but for anything else you run for. That's it.
Abigail Brown.
Abigail Brown. Some of y'all may know my opinion already. I'm a developer in Gerald, and what I have to say is you spent a year finding the proper candidate for city manager. You found Danielle. By the way, I wrote this last August. In Danielle, you have an educated and seasoned professional. She is knowledgeable, articulate, and has a strong backbone. She's a member of the community who clearly cares about its success. What else could you ask for? I'm not a Gerald resident, but I'd like to think that I'm part of the greater community myself, trying to develop a neighborhood that would make Gerald proud for the future. I've been through city transitions. I've seen growing pains and struggles as Gerald tries to prepare for future growth. I know the infrastructure obstacles firsthand. Danielle has always been responsive. She's easy to work with. It hasn't always been so easy to get a response even from City Hall. In working with Danielle and in working with Jordan, I think you're building something. You have a great team in place. If you just let them do their job. You hired her to be the professional, to put a vision into action, to be the expert on Texas law and Gerald code. Please let her do her job.
All right, and then we have Charles Ashby.
Abigail Brown stole my speech.
Don't be serious.
I do have two emails here. One is from Commissioner Russ Bowles. She says, Mayor Sherrick, I want to let you know that City Manager Singh has been straightforward and easy to work with. She has held her current position. Since she has held her current position, the county has been able to move projects in Gerald forward, allowing for better commutes and more public safety. Because of the growth in the area, Williamson County has committed financial resources to improving the road network in Gerald and around Gerald. Due to City Manager Singh's expertise, she recognizes this benefit and is critical in advancing infrastructure. And we also have one from the Gerald ISD Superintendent. She says, Dear Mayor Sherrick, I am writing to express my support for Danielle Singh, Gerald City Manager, and to advocate for her continued service to our community. As the Gerald ISD Superintendent, I have worked closely with Ms. Singh and found her to consistently demonstrate a commitment to our city, our citizens, and to our youngest citizens, our children. She regularly communicates with me about ongoing and upcoming projects. When there are questions about infrastructure, she's approachable and responsive. Her partnership with the school district is instrumental in assisting us with providing the best facilities for our students. In addition to our meetings, we also meet with our county commissioner to problem solve the challenges of a fast-growing city. These meetings are productive and further strengthen the relationship of our city, school district, and county. This degree of collaboration is appreciated and demonstrates her dedication to our Gerald community. With Ms. Singh's leadership, our city has seen much progress in a short amount of time and is already producing positive results that include financial accountability, needed parks, safe roads for our citizens, community gatherings, and a plan for continued growth that is manageable. These examples are just a few of the very involved projects that are coming to fruition under her leadership. This level of work is only possible because of her expertise and dedication that makes up her core values for doing what is right. There's no doubt that she deserves our support. I am confident that the City Council will work together to embrace strong leadership and a vision for the future for the betterment of our community. Sincerely, Dr. Tony Hicks. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 4, consent agenda items. Is there one?
4.2, forget it.
Okay. Move 4.2.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting on March 5th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Agenda item 4.2.
Ms. Meeks, could you kind of explain line item 4.2 to us?
So, for court, one of the ways that we can, collect fines or have people appear in court is to put a hold on their driver's license. We don't have a whole lot of avenues. But, it seems to be that's the one that works the most, is to put a hold on their driver's license, and DPS won't renew their driver's license unless they pay all of their fines.
Any other questions? We have a motion on the floor. We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Unanimous. Agenda item number 5, our regular agenda items. 5.1, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a contract with Axon to provide equipment for Gerald Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor.
Chief.
Council. The 5.1 and 5.2 are kind of joined together. The vehicles in themselves precipitated us to look at the camera systems as well as the pager systems and getting kind of things bundled together. So the Axon contract's part of the vehicle process. The 4 cameras that are there, we can bundle with new tasers. Our tasers expired in January, so we're going to have to new tasers anyway. They're not serviceable anymore as well, and they're not going to be made after October of this year. So the X2s are no longer going to be around. We're going to go to the taser 10s. And then on top of that, the body cameras we have are Motorola body cameras. I don't know if anybody's used those before, has any knowledge. They cause significant problems in evidence gathering, downloading, and they disconnect frequently from the vehicles. That's why we have to run them all the time, which also causes vehicle maintenance to go incredibly high as well, burning out various sensors in the vehicle. So my suggestion was we bundled all those 3 things together and buy the new tasers, body cameras, and the 4 camera systems for the new vehicles that I'm requesting, and putting all those together, we're gonna actually have a cost savings of almost $100,000.
You said all our tasers are expired?
Yes, they'll be, the service agreements expired in January, and their serviceability is up, so they no longer make them, and they'll fix them right now for a fee. We can't, it's not part of the contract anymore. So it's better if we just buy the new ones.
Mayor and council, one thing to note with these 2 items, 5.1 and 5.2, after that we'll move on to 5.3, and the budget amendments in order to fund those 2 items would need to be approved. There's a couple items also in there that we can discuss, but that is where we're actually allocating funds for these projects.
I've been looking for a budget for a lot of months, so I'd like to see a budget.
We have it on email.
You have it? You have it?
So do you. The budget is on the website.
Like an up-to-date
I'm
current
talking
where
about,
we're at.
my email time.
There's been a lot of distractions the past
You know
couple of
exactly what I'm
months.
talking about.
Yeah, kind of things that are on the agenda.
Yeah, we have no comparisons that we're.
As I've stated to you multiple times in open session here, we are finalizing the software conversion. That includes reconciling all of the accounts, each transaction by hand as we were going from one software to another. We are at the tail end of that, and we will soon be able to provide you with the budget reports. I haven't had those. We have accomplished a lot in the last year, and that software conversion prevented us from just running reports to show you what that information is. So we are currently reconciling that, and we'll have that to you shortly, as I have explained previously.
We have to see where we are from what we budgeted to where we are now. And we haven't had that seven.
And I just explained to you why.
Well,
We got it.
Got a question on that. 5.2 is on the TIPS contract, is 5.1 also on TIPS or source code?
No, Axon's separate from that. It's the basic company most everybody uses now for those related equipment. They're integrated, they all work together, and they're the top of the line.
Yeah, we just got done buying a whole bunch of them. We don't have to worry about procurement because it's under the 100 grand divided up yearly, correct?
Well, so if it's on the buy board, there's certain things that, I mean, essentially, if it's on the buy board, it's already been bid out publicly.
Correct.
Right, which they, I know Axon uses Sourcewell.
I'm sorry?
They use Sourcewell as their buy board?
I believe they do, yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Axon as presented.
All right, we have a motion on the floor in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
nay.
Agenda item 5.2, discussion, consideration, and possible action authorizing the purchase of police vehicles in an amount not to exceed $539,892.
So as a continuation, council, our current fleet consists, what we have available to us is 2 patrol cars. We have 2 administrative cars that we're utilizing right now to supplement those. The newest cars in 2021, the one that I use and that the officers will use when one of them goes down is 120,000 miles. So the 4 vehicles we're asking for patrol will get us through not just this section, but additionally probably the next 2 officers that we hire. And then we're gonna have to go on a regular rotation annually to ask for those vehicles.
So projected, what you say you think estimated 2 years?
Yeah, so
And
the
then
2,
you would have to grow from there?
the 2 remaining vehicles that we can salvage from our current fleet, plus the additional 4, should cover us through the end of next year.
Is that taking into consideration the one that just got?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, you know I got questions. So, maintenance costs per year for the fleet that we currently have, you know approximately what we're paying to keep them running?
So it's a group of major things. So any damages to collisions that we have in the vehicles, they've had to go back various times to be in the electrical portions of the vehicle. Those should never have been utilized on patrol. And so those damaged portions have to go back. Again, we actually had to replace the entire engine of the one that was still under contract or under warranty. But it's not here for 6 months while we're doing that. So the sensors in them, everything else, we have to run 24 hours a day to make sure that they stay connected so the officers can actually keep their body cams and everything else logged on at the same time for their safety. But it's just wear and tear on basically running these cars 24/7.
Second question is, looking over the list of accessories, is there anything that we're able to transfer from our current units to new units to save any money?
The radio, well, there's 2 radios, the in-car radios we're utilizing. Everything else Axon is going to be implementing and putting in so that we can have it all integrated into one system. We won't be using, we'll use Panasonic in the old vehicles until they're gone, but after that point in time, we won't use that system.
Same question I asked the city, has to do packing budget. Haven't seen the budget out of the police department in a while, we spend a lot of money over there. No one sees as much information on it.
Would you like to repeat my answer?
No, not again.
City manager, are we within our budget for where we're at in the year?
Yes, so we keep track of that. We're starting to put the budget together for next year. We can see where it is. I believe we should, if it's not in June, in July, we should be able to have those budget reports for y'all where y'all can see everything. We can certainly give y'all expenses to date. We finally have that information available, so that all can be set out for you now. But we are doing really well budget-wise. Our sales tax is starting to go negative just as it is across the state, but we budgeted conservatively. We're in a good place, and we've been underspending. So I have no reason to be concerned. And as your audit showed last month, our savings are incredibly healthy. So that's why we're able to move forward with these purchases.
But we're looking at year-over-year stuff.
It's my understanding you're spending a lot of money on maintenance with the current fleet.
Yes, we're almost double what we currently have budgeted for that.
And one other thing I'd like to add to that, we've actually had to take cars out of maintenance to put them back in service as we wait for parts because our fleet is unacceptable. This should have happened years ago. I don't know that there's an item that we need more than these vehicles.
What timeframe are they giving you on delivery?
Well, I have to redo it now because everything was based on it being approved last month. I have to negotiate with it. It may be 4 months before we even see the person.
Do you anticipate any cost change due to the delay? I know it's very common to have it in your agreement and it only be valid for so many days.
We're still under that portion of it, so we're okay with that aspect of it. It's just gonna be the delivery times I'm gonna have to renegotiate.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of police vehicles in an amount not to exceed $539,892.
We have a motion on the floor in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Unanimous.
Thank you for your patience and working with the current fleet.
Okay, agenda item 5.3, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a budget amendment for fiscal year 2024. Ms. Singh.
Thank you, Mayor. As I mentioned previously, this is the budget amendment that will allocate those funds for the 2 previous items. You can see attached to your packet the breakdown of where that money is coming from. We also have a couple of items that we'll go back into executive session and discuss as well. Just because you approved the budget amendment, if you don't allocate those funds, that's okay. You can still move forward with the budget amendment. Although, of course, we would be recommending that you go forward with those items as well. It's important to note that with the exception of the Axon contract, which is an ongoing thing, this is coming from fund balance because it's one-time expenses, right? And so in the audit, it outlined exactly how much fund balance we have in each of the different funds. And we are in a good place. We'll talk more in our budget discussions about where we should start to allocate some of those capital funds. But these were expenses that were they were too important for us to put off a few more months. And for the one ongoing cost, you did not allocate, I believe it was around $72,000 in your last budget, and so that was just allocated now. So it was essentially a surplus that could be allocated for ongoing costs.
Question on the budget amendment, because it does include other discussions, is it helping you do that right now or upon closure, or is it giving direction?
I would recommend we go forward. Anytime you put funds into an account, they will sit there until you allocate them.
Well, until it's
you're
approved,
allocating
you're allocating it, but until it's approved, it's, okay.
I can't move
good.
forward with those expenses unless you authorize the contract, so
understand.
there's no harm in going forward with it.
Thanks for the clarity. So, on the budget amendment, what clarity are we looking for? Is it as presented, or, do we need to, isolate the expense and income accounts as presented, or?
No, you can just approve it as is, since the packet includes all the accounting information wherever we go to. And if you have any questions on which accounts and why, I'm more than happy to go into that.
And then I will, since I motion to include spending it, I put first. make a motion to accept the budget amendments as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Unanimous? Okay. We will now adjourn into closed session, executive session. To discuss agenda item 6.1, closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071 for a consultation with the city attorney regarding Gerald Town Center water contract. Also, agenda item 6.2, closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.072 for deliberation regarding real property located at 500 and 550 PR 924 Gerald, Texas 76537. We are adjourned at 10:20 p.m. The Gerald City Council is now back in session. Agenda item 7.1, discussion, consideration, of possible action regarding the Gerald Town Center water contract. Also, agenda item 7.2, discussion, consideration, of possible action regarding 500 and 550 PR 924 Gerald, Texas 76537.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the purchase of the town center property and groundwater rights and the purchase regarding real property located at 500 and 550 Private Road 914, Gerald, Texas 76537, authorizing the city manager to execute the necessary documents.
Quick, clarity, Private Road 924, I believe I heard 914, just to clarify, got that correct, please.
Do I need to make an amendment?
No, I think as long as that's.
Point of clarity, addresses are to read 500 and 550 Private Road 924, Gerald, Texas 76537.
Second.
Now we have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Unanimous.
Thank you for catching me.
With that, we have no further city business. Gerald City Council now adjourned at